I love how rather than going like a what if, like we have after the credits with these outlandish situations, like alternate realities we could view of the Jahy after the credits gags, this time it was simply just watching the manager and Jahy eat their fill of sweets. After having this like intense workout routine, looks like they're bonding. Oh shit, she lost her weight, so she's good. She ends up getting fatter than when she started off in the episode. Pretty glorious. But I have to say, the thing that's really made the great Jahy will not be defeated so compelling is the steady but subtle growth between Jahy's character and who she was before, who she's trying to still be, but clearly is being influenced by the human world and is in return becoming a better person. And the transition in this episode I think was my personal favorite, mainly because when she interacts, she tries to be a horrible person. She tries to be demanding. She tries to be like she has authority. But whether it's the manager, making it pretty much feel like she's the mom to her, she very much is guiding her in a positive light. Even the landlady, despite being hostile, she's really just teaching her responsibility. So you have that caring, loving, parental side. You have the authority side, which you need because an untamed child, if you let a child run free with no rules, they're gonna be a little bastard like she claims other people are. And the numerous situations throughout this, I think, has really crafted her into such a compelling character. And the fact that she makes a new friend in this episode who just so happens to be a child, but is this bundle of positivity. Oh, you're looking for something? I'll help you look for it. And she's trying so hard to push away, but ultimately is happy, is thankful that someone was so nice. And while in very childlike fashion, I'm the great Jahy, of course you're the great Jahy, she just kind of goes with it because that's what children do. The fact that she, just bought into it. She was wanting to help her, and even when she stormed off, she scrapes her knee, comes in, and gives her that bandage, right? The fact that rather than ending this episode as, oh, a child is, just so enthralled by this great story that they search for a stone, they find it, and she gets to stay on that mighty high horse. Rather, no. She gets, in return, the ability to see that humans are able to do so much, and that when someone's down on their luck, they'll go out of their way to help you, and that rather than finding something just because you're the great Jahy, rather you get to learn something a bit different about four-leaf clovers, that she found one and was hoping that you would have good luck. She went from talking shit to a kid who she thought had one of her monocrystals, who called her a pervert and ran off, and I thought that was a hilarious adventure, to making a genuine friend that I hope will pop up every now and again. And it's interesting because her two different forms, right, pretty much lets her have two separate lives. She has this adult life when she's in her normal form, and she gets to kind of have like that childlike innocence and second chance at growing up in a better environment, because growing up in the demon world is a lot different than growing up in the human world. And that's what makes it so charming to watch a character like her, who easily could have just stuck to, I'm the great Jahy, I am powerful, everyone bow before me. Rather, her ass is getting humbled every single week, and it's nice to see those steady but, those smiles creep up. Sometimes she runs away after smiling and, admitting that she's happy about the situation. Look at last week. But then other times like this one, you really see that she's reaching up to become a better person, and that really brings a grin to my face. It was a hilarious adventure, probably one of the cuter and just simpler episodes, but goddamn did it have momentum. The workout was absolutely fantastic. The idea that she can't do anything, skip rope, pretty much is getting crunched in chairs, like everything about it was hilarious. And the fact that when she was finally built up into that momentum, like, okay, I'm actually digging this, I'm loving my manager, we're gonna really kick some ass, we're gonna go to a legit location, I already lost my weight. I love how rather than just leaving it off like that, the fact that the after the credits gag pretty much gets her fat again, or at least fat in her own mind. Pretty glorious stuff. But just watching this episode and just seeing her really tackle this world, it never gets old, because whether it's a new character or a new situation, it always feels like because she has such a long way to go to really accepting what humanity has to offer, it's not like we feel like we're repeating the same things over and over again. And you can have these outlandish scenes like she's trying to go to sleep, and someone's playing a rock concert next door, and she ends up in return playing alongside them all night. And when she finally goes over to smack some sense, apparently it's empty. No idea what that means. I have a feeling that will probably be relevant throughout the season, like this empty building, this empty apartment is continuing to cause her ruckus, And whether it's the magical girl, whether it's another one from the dark realm, like something like that, it's going to be something that I hope is going to be an ongoing gag. And if not, our minds and imaginations are probably going to run wild about what the hell actually happened there. Was she so delirious? Did it actually happen? Even the narrator was confused about it, right? So that's kind of fantastic. I mean, we're 7 episodes into a 20 episode confirmed season, right? You know, once we have episode 8, it actually kind of works out with that delay we had a few weeks back due to the sporting events. Because as long as no more delays happen, this show will pretty much wrap up at the end of December, making it a nice, worthwhile show that carried over 2 different seasons. And I know there's some incredible new shows coming out next season. I have my list packed full of everything I want to cover, but I have to say, Jahy, I doubt will be something that gets swept under the rug for me. Like, obviously I'll continue to cover it, but more so, out of everything that I'm looking at, there's something about the great Jahy that just, it really resonates with me. I love how you can have a character design like her just wearing a baggy shirt, and you have this empty apartment and these quests to find rocks, yet it is some of the more wholesome character building that I've seen in some time, and I really love that about the show. The voice acting, I have to say, is still knocking me away. I love the transition between when she's in her child form versus her adult form. I love the difference of performance, but I also love how energetic she is. Like, it's impossible, I mean, visually alone, it's usually impossible for the show to be boring, but you gotta hand it to Jahy's voice actor. It's really hard to imagine, for me anyway, what an English dub for this would sound like, and I say that every so often with certain shows, like especially with stuff like Combatants Will Be Dispatched, or even, you know, the Dungeon of Black Company. There's certain main characters that, while yes, they do end up getting dubs, I just don't want to listen to them because this is like the perfect casting choice. I mean, it kind of reminds me of stuff like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, right? There's certain things and there's certain people, there's certain voices that you can't replace because the role is crafted so perfectly for them, and that's exactly how I feel. Like, it's impossible to be bored by this show, and it just continues to knock my socks off. It's not even just, like, the voice actor for Jahy's great. I mean, even Kokoro, like, she really nailed that, like, sweet and innocent child performance, and I mean, even the kid who just ran away thinking she was a pervert. It's just so great to see how, like, in character these roles actually are, and I'm just thinking, like, imagine the production being dumbed down just a little bit, maybe not as consistent, hilarious art design, or some B-level voice actors. Imagine the disgrace to this manga, because this manga was hyped up like crazy for years, it felt like, for this anime adaptation. And while maybe the West hasn't connected as much as I initially thought they would, I can see why this is such a loved series, and honestly, it's pretty much perfect. I really wouldn't change a single thing out of these 7 episodes so far, and I mean, just thinking of the possibilities, the fact that you can just have her banging on like tin cans and pots and pans, right? And that can be hilariously entertaining. I mean, it'll be fun to see. Like, it's just, the stories write themselves, right? I am excited to see what they're gonna do. I really hope Kokoro will continue to be a relevant character every so often. It'll be interesting to see if she bumps into her in her adult form and how she would react to it, but whether it's Pervert Lady, whether it's Wholesome Adventures, whether it's Band Practice at Midnight, this show is fantastic. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, and definitely, what do you hope to see going forward in the next core when we kick off into the fall 2021 season? Leave a like if you enjoy, and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.